series. Here it is. Hash the Real Watchers of Street Road, a true rural narcotics era story of land, lies, surveillance, and the people who thought nobody was paying attention. Open quote. Out here on Street Road, people think they can sneak around, lie to attorneys, drift between properties, and make threats with no consequences. They think the only eyes on them are the neighbors they manipulate or the family they intimidate. What they didn't realize is that the real watchers weren't us. It was the helicopters, the investigators, the cameras, the agencies, and they were watching long before anyone knew. Close quote. Number one, the beginning, 1996 to 2022. The only legal owners in 1996, my parents, Michael D. Hill and Rosemarie Hill, purchased the property under a formal warranty deed prepared by Selman & Selman. Under Alabama Code Part 35-4-271, that deed gave them full legal title, full possession, full control, and full rights to everything inside the home. From 1996 until 2022, every inch, every board, every belonging was theirs. There was never a question about ownership. Not once. Not in the law. Not in the deed. Not in the county records. Number two, the uninvited move-in. 1996, silence is not permission. Later that same year, without ever asking, without a lease, without a conversation, Deborah Ann Lay moved herself into the house. My parents didn't tell her yes. They didn't tell her no. They simply didn't want a confrontation. That's all. Their silence was not consent. Under Alabama law, a person who moves in without permission or agreement is tasked an unauthorized occupant, not a tenant, not entitled to legal possession. She lived there because she put herself there, not because anyone approved it. Number three, the long abandonment. 2013 to 2015, Deborah abandoned the property for about 2 years. Utilities were in her name, but usage was near zero. The house sat empty, unattended, uncared for. Under Ala Code Tri-Chi 35-12-72, abandonment ends any claim of possession, period. She returned later, but abandonment had already broken any continuity she thought she had. Number four, the Piney Woods raid, the day everything shifted. In 2021, Street Road erupted into blue lights. Walker County Sheriff's Office, Jasper PD, the Drug Task Force, and the Alabama Doc Les DK9 unit executed a major drug raid at the end of the road. Here is your screen record link moment. WCSO, Piney Woods search warrants execution. Brandon Graves, Brandy Nicole Martin, Tiffany Ender, etc. This was no small operation. This was a full-scale narcotics takedown. And this was the exact Kenneth Dean Guthrie first showed up on the property. He walked up and asked, open quote, "What's going on?" Close quote. I told him, open quote, "Looks like a drug bust." Close quote. He acted confused, as if he wasn't familiar with drug raids, as if he hadn't been arrested before, as if he didn't know the signs. But we knew better. And so did the watchers. Number five, Kenneth drifts in, but never lives there. From 2021 through 2022, Kenneth came and went, never paid a bill, never contributed, stayed with girlfriends, lived off Deborah, created chaos, trespassed, manipulated, and never had legal residence. He was never a tenant, never a lawful occupant, never someone with a right to the property, just another unauthorized user exploiting whoever he could. Number six, low-flying choppers and rural surveillance. Right before Kenneth's arrest, helicopters flew low, LE aircraft circled, Chinooks passed overhead, rural pole cameras activated, litter cam programs expanded into Piney Woods. People pretend those cameras are for trash. They're not. Therefore, traffickers, rural patterns, suspicious movement, hidden RVs, soft targets, vulnerable elderly residents, and cross-county surveillance corridors. They knew exactly what Kenneth was doing and exactly where he was staying. Number seven, the RV move that never happened. Intent exists before action. In the days before his arrest, Kenneth wasn't pulling the RV into the woods yet, but he was absolutely planning it. He was pacing the yard, clearing spots, eyeing tree lines, muttering about moving it back, circling the RV like a paranoid hawk. People who are doing nothing wrong don't plan to drag an RV into the woods, but the watchers were faster than he was. Number eight, May 19th, 2022, the arrest. Investigators, not patrol, not random, not Lisa. This is your next link click for the video. Coleman Tribune, May 27, 20. 2022, multiple drug-related arrests. Delmange.W, DelmanTribune.com/20/27/. Multiple drug-related arrests and grand jury indictments over last weekend. It states, open quote, CCSO investigators conducted a traffic stop in the Dodge City area. Close quote, not patrol, not a random stop, not based on an angry spouse's call. Investigators acting on intel, not emotion. Then, open quote, a search of the vehicle yielded numerous narcotics and paraphernalia. Close quote, this is exactly what happens when law enforcement has been watching someone for a long time. Kenneth told me, open quote, they were waiting on me. Close quote, for once it was the truth. His longest stay was the year he wasn't there, 2022 to 2023. Kenneth was in Coleman County Jail after being taken in on trafficking charges. While gone, he abandoned RV parts, shed pieces, tools, debris, windows, junk from his projects. Under Alabama law, Pratt 35-1276, all of it is legally considered abandoned property. He never returned as an authorized occupant because he never was one. Number 10, 2023-2024 exploitation and decline. After release, Kenneth exploited Deborah, drained her disability, stole money, lived off her, manipulated her, pressured her, and contributed to her suffering. This aligns with Alacota 13A6191, financial exploitation of the elderly. It was never care. It was never love. It was never responsibility. It was abuse. Number 11, the 2022 transfer, the truth they never wanted you to know. In 2022, before Deborah died and before any chaos escalated, my mother legally deeded the property to me. Everyone involved knew. Kenneth, Deborah, Jerry, Amber. Not one person objected. Not one person contested it. Not one person had any claim. Under Alabama Code 35-420, I became the sole lawful owner. Everything inside the home belonged to me, just like everything belonged to my parents from 1996 to 2022. Number 12, the real watchers, not the neighbors, not the family, not the liars. The real watchers were the choppers, the cameras, the investigators, the task force, the agencies, the surveillance that sees in the dark. People can lie. Neighbors can pretend. Family can twist stories. But the watchers, they don't guess. They don't assume. They don't take sides. They see and they saw. Who lived there? Who didn't? Who owned the property? Who stole? Who abandoned? Who exploited? Who trespassed? Who lied? Who was targeted? Who was innocent? And who was dangerous? That's the part Kenneth never understood. He thought he was hiding from the people around him. He didn't realize he was living in the open in front of the real watchers of Street Road. If you want, I can now add a cinematic outro, create chapter titles, add sound cues and pacing, write your voiceover script, build the affidavit version, format it as a full documentary storyboard. Just tell me